All right. Thanks, Amy. My name is Donna Eurek. My position at Garland ISD is the software coordinator, which basically includes desktop management from the HelpDesk side, all of the desktop support groups, creating imaging, all of the groups that go out and troubleshoot software and imaging. I've been with the district about 17 years, and keeps us busy. We have over 20,000 PCs. We have closing in on 5,000 Apple devices, which has been new to us in the past year. So that's an exciting new venture that we have going. And as you can imagine, we have a need for a help desk that's quick, easy to use, and flexible, and that is definitely where everything help desk serves us well. We originally had a help desk system which had a very cumbersome web interface. There were many screens. It was very slow, not intuitive at all. So technicians, to be able to use it effectively, needed to have a client install, which also was very limiting. It made it more efficient in the processing of all their tasks, but it also tied them down to certain workstations where they could actually have a client installed. So there was a lot of frustration. We had a product where licensing was not enterprise friendly. We were not able to license end users at a cost-effective basis. Technician licenses were expensive, and upgrades were problematic. We found that if we customized the product and then had an upgrade after the customization, we would run into problems with the custom features. So we were really looking for something else, and we're glad that we found Everything Help Desk. And so what I'll do, we can go ahead and take a look at what we have here are using in Garland with Everything Help Desk. You'll see the interface, and the fact that it was so easy to use, we made it easy for us to transition. We moved from the old system to the new system, and about 2 weeks we transitioned about 100 technicians and campus technology contacts just prior to the beginning of the school year. So of course that made it very interesting, to say the least, to do that at the beginning of school. Going to log in here and let you see the system. And another thing that we like very much about the help desk system is that it integrates our own directory. We happen to be a Novell shop here, so everything that's in our directory as far as end user information, our asset inventory, can all be easily implemented into the system. And if you notice that the login, it ties to our Novell IDs. The password is the same. Users don't have to remember a separate login ID or a separate password. And here's just the ticket screen that you would see when you first log in. You can see that I have a number of ticket tabs across the top that we utilize, and these are all customizable per user. These are the particular filters and tickets that I choose to see on my opening screen. Each user can set up their own filters and their own tickets according to what their own particular needs are. You'll see that this opens up directly to my open calls. These are calls that I happen to have working and applying to me as of today. Owned by me would be those tickets that I've actually put in a call, or I'm the owner of the call itself. Someone else may be working on it. I have a tab for the entire technology ticket system. We could see that right now we have 585 working tickets, and it gives me the ability to kind of see the big picture. We have a group here that is actually a pilot school. We came from a system where only technicians put in tickets, closed tickets, worked within the help desk system. Because we are licensed for all of our end users through our Everything Help Desk licensing, we are now piloting one of our high schools where we do actually allow end users to put in their own tickets, and so this would be the campus that I can quickly check the tickets and things that are happening there. And If I wanted to see closed tickets, we can also go in and check those. This is a special project this year with Apple tickets, so it's something we're trying to keep an eye on the pulse, and it gives me a quick way to get to those Apple tickets by setting up tabs and filters. And we'll get into that just a little bit more further in the demonstration. What I'm going to start with is filling out a ticket. You see all of the ticket icons, or the icons across the top bar here. And if I want to create a new ticket, one of the things that's been great for our technicians and our end users is that it's a single screen. As I said, if I'm creating the ticket, it automatically fills my name. If I happen to be a campus technology person, or I'm taking a call on the help desk, and if I want to go in and I can search for users, they actually would all list here, and I could go through the drop down. We also, if you know the user's last name, we can put in the last name and it will pull from our directory, and I know that I have a choice, and I'm going to say that Josh Bates needed help with this particular project. You'll notice that information also autofills anything else that's in our directory. Cell phone numbers, titles, departments, things like that will fill automatically, so that eliminates having to do quite so much work, and it gives us a full history of information. I know that Josh is going to be at Garland High School, and let's say that I want to put in an Apple equipment item for Josh. So it's simple enough to pick the category option. He has an iPad and he's having trouble getting it to connect to the network. I am going to assign Josh's ticket to John. You'll notice that there are two technicians who are assigned specifically to Apple equipment at Garland High School, and their names will show at the top of the list under assignments. If for some reason we had a particular technician who specialized in something, or we knew we needed it to route to someone else in our technician group, we could also choose from those other names at the bottom of the list. And we're going to go ahead and assign it to John Campbell. You'll notice that we have some fields that are required by the asterisk. We want to make sure that every ticket somehow associates to a room number. That helps us a lot with just tracking and making sure we get to the right place. So if we wanted to help Josh out in room 100, we also have to know, we track all of our Apple equipment because it's portable with serial numbers and asset tags. So we would want to get that user information or that device information, and we would go ahead and fill those fields in. And then the description of the ticket itself, we're going to say that his iPad is not connecting to the network. If we chose, let's say that this is a teacher who has an administrator who's concerned because this is, and maybe it's reached our attention because someone is concerned or trying to help the teacher. We want to make sure that they're in the communication on the service that's being done. We can put an email address here to either carbon copy or blind copy someone who might need to be in the loop. We can put specific notes if we need to, that this is the special education equipment needed for a special project next week. And another feature which we really like, we always encourage users to try to screenshot or come up with any kind of attachment that would be more helpful to diagnose or troubleshoot a problem. So if someone has any type of document, then we can, as long as that's saved to their PC in some way, they can browse and find the attachment, and that becomes very helpful. And it's as simple as clicking the Save Changes button, and now we have set up a ticket for John to go out and help Josh with his iPad. And let's take a look at a few other things. One of the things that we have had a lot of luck with, or things that we've really found powerful in the way that we use the program, are the custom fields and being able to quickly add something to the custom fields. So what I need to do, I'm going to have to log out as a manager, and I'm going to log in as our administrator, and I'll show you exactly how easy it is to add some fields and add some custom fields. Okay. Here's the admin screen, and if I put in ticket settings here, you can see that here we are able to set up different things for each of the various groups that we've got built in, technology being the main group that we have. And one of the requests that I've had just in the last few days is that we have some contractors that we actually process tickets in our system, and they've been installing projector systems. We have now moved on and are asking them to install some kiosks. So if I wanted to add another option for the contractors, it would be as simple as clicking Add Category option. I'm going to give the contractor a new category so that when they do work on kiosks, they have a way to designate those calls or a way to show that they've closed their work. So it's as simple as adding categories just right here on the front page. And the other thing that is very flexible, and it's something that we have come up, say, frequently on, probably at least once a week or so, someone will make a recommendation about information that we need to capture, or because a software program has changed or hardware has been added to our inventory. There are different types of information we need to capture, and those typically would be things that we capture in our custom field setup. If you wanted to look, let's say that one of our biggest projects lately is that we are moving from XP to Windows 7. And so now when people place tickets for Windows software calls, there's nothing to designate which OS, XP or Windows 7. So it's been pointed out that it would be very helpful for us to differentiate. So if I want to set up a custom field where we do that, I would go simply to our software category, and one of the options for those calls would be the Windows operating system. What I want to do is add to that type of call the ability to have a drop-down field. So if we have a drop-down here, and I'm just going to call that Windows version, and here I can give two choices. Obviously, one choice is going to be XP. And then for the next choice, we're going to add Windows 7. We do want to require the user to tell us. So that's one part that will have to be filled out in order for them to actually save it. You'll notice this has an order of 0, which is a default. You can change that, but I do want this to go towards the top. So I'm going to save the changes. And you'll see that as it refreshes now, Windows version is going to be a drop-down box. There are actually two fields that have a 0 order, but they're going to go alphabetically beyond that. So it's still going to ask for the room number first, which is what everyone's accustomed to, but then we're also going to have to put in the Windows version. And now we have added another layer of granularity to the Windows calls that go into the HelpDesk system. Helps us gather better information, and it helps us filter on information down the road, start tracking how many calls are relating to XP, how many calls are growing now for the Windows 7 environment. And so that's a couple of ways that you can add fields, and you can see how quickly we're able to do that. Let me go back. I'm going to log out of the system here and just go back in as a manager. And when we get back in, what I'm going to do is just give you some examples of how filters and reporting work and how we can get information quickly. An example, if you'll look up here, we have the ticket filter icon, and that takes us quickly over here to several different ticket filters that I have. As I said, the Apple world is a new one to us. We'd been all PCs until about a year ago. So tracking the work on the Apple tickets, it started out as kind of a one-man show. We've quickly grown to where we need 2 technicians to service the most of the Apple equipment. So what I've done is create an Apple filter, and as we've tried to monitor the growing number of devices, the demands, what type of service we're having to provide, the need grew from one tech to another tech, then I was able to use this filter to gather information very quickly. If we go in and just edit the filter, you can see some of the things that are used to set one up. What we did when we set up the filter here, here are the default fields that would show up. If I wanted more information to show in my filter, I could even look for estimated completion dates. I could remove created date if that was not important to me. You can actually change all of those fields. If what's in the custom fields were important to me, and there are a lot of custom fields because of so many types of calls and equipment that we have, I could look through to find how many of those I would need, but not concerned about those on the Apple equipment. We are not concerned. We want all ticket numbers, but we want everything that's not closed. We could have, we could set status to a variety of things. We could set it to anything that's on hold, anything that's assigned but not updated, but we also have the ability to pick not equals. So we want everything that's not equal to close, which is an easy way to find all of our open tickets. And once we select those 2, then we use the green arrow to put it down here, and that's where you know you're filtering on it. If I only wanted to find what was being assigned to one technician at a time, I could set the filter here, but I'm not. We've got 2, and I want to see what their total workload is. We've got category options set up here, and we want everything that equals these types of Apple work. And when I apply the filter, that will give me a list of everything that we're trying to keep track of, everything that we're trying to get the pulse of as far as our Apple devices go. And you'll notice that you do have the ability to save these, and this one has already been saved as my Apple tickets. If I want to export these, I can export these to an Excel spreadsheet. If I want to use it in any other type of report or meeting or something that someone else might have a need for, I can export it to either an Excel, which then becomes sortable and very easy to manipulate, or export it to a PDF, which makes it a very nice, easy to look at file if you're trying to present that perhaps to another manager. And that would be an example of how we've used a filter just to quickly and easily find all of our Apple tickets. We've had some other reasons that we've built filters over time. One example that I can give you, if I go back to my ticket filters, because we do service for all of our cafeterias in the district, at one point in time, the manager of the food service area came to us, and they were having some problems with inventory, how to keep a supply of keypads for the registers. And he found that his own information was not accurate or current or up to date. He needed to know how many might be failing, how many he needed to budget for the coming year, how many were under service. So we were able to create a keypad view for the food service department and share with him. We gave him a login and shared with him how he could set it up and use it himself. And it allowed him to keep running track of how many service calls were being done on keypads. We even made it a required field in the ticket itself to place a serial number. And he began to pull reports from this keypad view. And by doing that, he could gather information that was current and up to date where, you know, what he had in his own office wasn't. And it allowed him to beef up the inventory and plan better for the future. So we found a lot of ways that we can help other organizations within our school district. And if let's say, and you can set up a lot of filters on the fly, let's say that because we have our new big deployment project to send out Windows 7 machines. We have a particular technician who is very involved in those, but yet she also has other things that she has to manage. So if we wanted to add a filter, let's say that I just kind of want to keep a pulse on what's happening with her service calls. Do we need to get more help to her? Do we need to find out exactly what's building up? Is it more Windows 7? Does she still have a lot of calls for some of the other things that she supported in the past? It would be easy for me to go in and simply find this particular technician and know that I know her last name, so it's very easy to, there we go, thought I knew her last name. Oh, here we go. We need to go to a different pool. We've got to get to the technology pool. And let's see that we want to, here we go. There we go. We're going to want to find all of the tickets that Mel is trying to work at the same time that she's running this project and see if we need to get some more resources to her. So if I choose, I can apply the filter here, and it gives me a quick way to kind of look at what's happening to her, what kind of tickets now. And from here, it's also sortable. You notice that what I did, let me go back, because what I did was pick all of our tickets. Obviously, I really want the tickets that are open. I don't want all of our closed tickets. So let's go back and clarify that a little bit and apply it again. So now we see that she, oh, here we go, hit all the buttons. If we actually add that to the field now, let's apply the filter. Yep. Here we go. We're going to put not equals, and we're going to get it right. Third time's a charm. I'm going to add that one. Now let's clear this one. All right, now let's try, and I bet we don't get 300 tickets. Hopefully not, because she really does need a lot of help if she's still got 300 tickets. Now, looks like much better. She's only got 12 tickets that are open while she's working these projects, but I could save that filter as her manager and keep an eye on what's happening with her. And so there are a lot of ways that we find to use statistics and find data that the filters make it very easy to take a look at. You can also do reports, and let's say because Apple service is something I have been keeping an eye on, I can create a report, and what I have done is, we'll just look at the edit button here, and you'll see that I took the filter, which I had already created for my Apple tickets, and I gave it a name. I'm marking this one private. If I unchecked it, I could create a report that the entire technology organization and all of the technicians and managers could see. I want to report on categories. I want to see what the categories of our Apple service tickets are, although I could pick by location, by technician, by status. I could pick a range of things. And I'm going to show it as a pie graph. And that's, let's save the changes. And then if I want to go in and view the Apple service ticket, I get a nice pie graph. And I can see what I would have expected to see, which is that most of our work is obviously in the iPad area, servicing more iPads than we are MacBooks. And if I want to see specific numbers, percentages, I can actually look at those things to see that we really, and because our numbers are bigger on the iPads, I would expect to have more calls on the iPad side. So. Okay, and let me go back and just see if there's anything else that we haven't looked at. Let's go back to the My Ticket field. One thing that we have found that's very quick and easy, and especially, again, as a manager, we use the ticket numbers on all of our service tickets to tie to projects, especially installation projects of equipment. And those installation projects are created and managed by a group of campus technology coordinators. And so they deal in the numbers of the tickets. It's not uncommon for one of them to say, what about the install project at Garland High School? If they have the ticket number, which is usually ready available to them, it's very easy to put a ticket number here, and from almost anywhere in the interface, you have a very quick ticket ID search, and it's quick and easy to just throw in the ticket number and pull up the information on a ticket. Like I said, it's very easy, it's flexible. We find that as day-to-day things change in our environment, it's so easy to adapt the information that goes into a ticket, the type of categories we have, what required fields might be. So it really, it serves our purposes, and it doesn't take an entire staff of dedicated people just to manage the HelpDesk system. It's something that we're all able to work together. We have 3 managers, and we're able to work together and quickly adapt to what we need. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for questions. If anyone has questions, or I'd be happy to answer any.
Perfect. Thank you, Donna. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them through on either the chat or on the Q&A. And I haven't seen any yet, but there is still time for questions, so if you have any, go ahead and put them through. But what we're going to do is move on to Shay Miller. He's going to be presenting on using the HelpDesk in multiple departments, also reports and dashboards, and workflow and quick tickets. So, Shay, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me share my desktop here real quick. And Amy, just let me know when you can see me.
Okay, I can see your desktop now.
Okay, perfect. I first wanted to start out and just say Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and especially to Donna. Donna, you did awesome, if I can say that. Me and Donna have worked a lot together over the last year. I went out there on site for 2 or 3 days and did some training with her and her organization, so it's cool to see her make some of those things look really easy, and it is once you understand it. Just so it's clear for everybody, our purpose here isn't necessarily to, make sure that you're a pro within the HelpDesk system. If you have any questions or want to see a personal demonstration later on or later this week, by all means let us know. We can show the ins and outs and exactly how it's going to work for you and your organization. So if that is the circumstance and is something that you want to have happen, then please let us know, and we would love to do that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here as a manager and just touch base a little bit with reporting, and I'm also going to take it a step farther on dashboards. I know Donna did an excellent job showing reports and exactly how this is going to work. Reports is really a build-up process. So I'm going to start here, and like I said, Donna did a good job covering this, but here on the ticket search is where you're setting the parameters on your search criteria, whether you're looking at a certain range of dates, looking at last month, last year, last 6 weeks, your most problematic tickets, that type of thing. Again, here's where you're setting the parameters for that. Anything that's contained in a ticket can be searched on, even if it's the custom fields, an office number, that Windows 7 or XP like Donna showed, some of those custom fields. We can search on any of that criteria. So, if you want to search on, Windows XP machines and Windows 7 machines and see which one's causing you more issues, by all means, we can do something like that, for the last month or whatever it is. So definitely easy to do, and like I said, Donna did an excellent job showing you those fields. Reporting is the next step for that. It's just taking a ticket filter and graphically representing it in a way that we can compare and contrast some of those things. So what I mean is, if I come in here just to edit a certain report, one of the first things that it's going to ask me is for a ticket filter. So it's taking the saved ticket filter that we've created, and we're grouping them in certain ways. So you'll notice this one's being grouped by location and then regrouping the information by group. Let me show you with this report exactly what it's going to show real quick. So you notice it's first grouping this information by location, and if I drill down here on headquarters, now it's going to show me the group information. It lets me. This worked a second ago before, of course, I start sharing my desktop. I get nervous. We'll change it to technician, like this. So headquarters, and now we're grouping it by, again, the technician. It's always one of those things that works on a live presentation, I swear. So notice that it's taking the 56 locations for my headquarters, 56 headquarters location tickets, and now breaking it apart by individual technicians. So now James looks like he's carrying the bulk of the load here. Now if I select James, it's going to show us the detailed view here of all of James's tickets, all of his 24 tickets. So now from here I can see, when it was last modified, the work time that's been on it, who the contact is, all of that information. What's nice about here is that if I select James's name on the Assign To field, it'll actually pull up an email where I can email James, and it'll have the ticket ID, it has the basic information. So I can email James and say, hey, do you need help? Are you overwhelmed? That type of thing. Or I can select the ticket ID number, like here, and it opens up in another tab this ticket, so now I can get a good idea of where this ticket is at and what's been going on. So that's reporting, but again, understand that we're grouping this to graphically represent this information. If I want also, I can report this information by certain dates, so I can compare different months and see when tickets were submitted. So I can look at last year and see, what the most problematic month was, or by week, or even by day, see if Fridays are going to be worse than Mondays, or that type of thing. So we can get extremely detailed with this information and the details that it's going to show me. Notice this bottom half here, we can run this report on a specific schedule. If we want to email that out to certain individuals, that type of thing, we most certainly can. It's easy enough to set up the detailed criteria here. If we want to email it out on the 3rd Wednesday of every other month, or whatever criteria you want, great. Then we're going to email it to these people with this information in this format, HTML, PDF, Excel, or CSV. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, with the report, that's going to be a snapshot of that current instance. What I mean is, when I run this report, it's not active, it's static. It's going to be, at 9:37 a.m. Mountain Time, this is the amount of tickets. What we have built into the system is a dashboard where what we are creating is a live widget where if a new ticket comes in, or during the day our technicians close out certain tickets like they should, this dashboard will actually update live for us to see. So let me actually run this dashboard so you can get a good idea of what this is going to show. Now this is going to be a really busy dashboard just because I want it to show us a lot of different type of widgets that are available for you. We actually have 8 different widgets, so let me kind of explain through these. I've labeled each one of these widgets different names because it's showing me different information. Notice this is all open IT tickets by technician. So here we have John, Jamie, Diane, the ticket pool here, all of my different technicians and all of their open tickets. Now obviously it looks like I need to change the thresholds here because 25 isn't showing me the maximum. All of this is customizable, just so you know, so you can change the thresholds, anything like that. The high priority tickets, right, only showing me the high priority tickets. Notice I'm in the green threshold here. Green is 0 to 50, 50 to 75 is yellow, 75 to 100 is red. Tickets and IT pool as well, I'm at 44. You'll notice these little color tickers right here. Anything above 35 is in the red threshold. That's why this thermometer is in red. If this dropped to be under 35, it was 29 or whatever, the whole thermometer would turn yellow. And if it was below 15, the whole thermometer would turn green. Again, it gives the quick and fast overview of what's happening. Notice now my maintenance request here in a pie chart, and then a stacked bar chart here. What this is showing me is all of the locations, tickets, broken apart by individual statuses. So now it looks like I have 32 tickets here that are assigned not updated that are in the headquarters group. I have 3 that are work in progress, part of the East office. So now I can get a good overview, again, of tickets not only by location, but also by the status that they're currently in. Again, it's a build-up process to build these, all done by the ticket search, the reports, and then the dashboards. So again, you can have as many of these as you would like. If you're projecting this, on if you have a break room or something like that, definitely you can use, any one of the number of widgets. But just to show you a few of the others, we have an arc dial. This is more like a scale, and obviously the thermometer and other bar charts or pie charts, depending on the type of information that you're trying to show. So that's dashboards, but I've seen it work where managers can save it to their desktop, and then without even logging in to the system and manually launching it, just from their desktop, they can launch and be able to view the dashboard and all the widgets that I've created or that they've set up with the thresholds to give them that quick overview of their department or their organization or location that they're in charge of, obviously depending on the criteria that they've set up with the reporting. So again, that's a really fast overview of, just kind of extended overview of reports, but more importantly, dashboards and how it works. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and type and put those in the chat and Q&A. I'll cover those here towards the end. One thing that Donna touched on that I just want to kind of show in depth, because I know that some of you maybe are going to go organization-wide on this. There is a hierarchical flow within this. I'm just going to show this a little bit more in depth. What I mean is, if I select maintenance request here, now for my category option, I only have maintenance request issues here. So now when I select lighting, now I only have lighting issues, motion sensor, ballast, desk lamp, that type of thing. If I come up here and change this to heating, air conditioning, now I only have heating and air conditioning category options here. I'm further defining this. If I come up here and obviously change this to IT, change this to hardware, or it's a group-wise issue, right? It's an error message that group-wise is showing. This is my custom field, as you can see. But again, only group-wise issues, only going to show the custom fields that are pertinent to that. So again, we can use this across multiple departments, and all of this information is completely customizable, like Donna was explaining. If you don't like the wording of this, or want to call it whatever else, you want to call it cafeteria issues, or maybe the group is going to be called requests. You're going to have transportation, like a bus if you're a school, or you need to reserve the conference room, or have a room set up because it's parent-teacher night, or you're going to have a visitor to the office, so you need to set up the conference room, whatever it is. You can have individual groups or additional groups set up to help manage some of these issues. The benefit of doing it, I guess, organization-wide like that is for a tool called Ticket Templates. Now, Ticket Templates, the way I've seen it work is in 3 different ways. One's going to be for a quick ticket, like the reset username and password. The idea is we can set it up on the back end so that a ticket is already filled out here. So all we have to do is somebody has this type of request. Let's come in here, change it to be, Steven, he's the one that forgot his password. I click Save and Launch. And this ticket's already set to a resolve status. It's already filled out. And notice I'm giving the user a few steps, ideally, that they can use next time, so that way I'm not getting multiple requests in every time when somebody needs to change their password. Something like that. Anything that you're doing constantly or on a daily basis or whatever it is, you can have a quick ticket set up for that. The other ways that ticket templates are used is for scheduled tasks. For example, if you have preventative maintenance or a monthly website updates or whatever it is that's happening constantly, you can set up this so that tickets are automatically being created monthly or weekly or yearly or whatever it is. So whenever the criteria is met, these tickets are going to automatically be launched. And the last way, the way I'm going to really focus on, is for project management. For example, a new hire. Let me kind of go in here to the edit screen so you can see exactly what I've done for this. You'll notice I have set up workstation, right? This is going to go to my IT request for their hardware. Maybe a better example would be to set up their, their desk and install a phone or whatever it is. I'm actually going to change it to the maintenance request group, right? It's going to be general maintenance for their desk. The maintenance group needs to go and set up their desk. I'm just going to assign it to the ticket pool because any one of them can work on it. If you have a certain job title like George maybe needs to go work on it, you can change it. And we're just going to say, we have a new employee, give them a new desk, or whatever it is, you get the idea. We're going to notify them that there's a new employee. They have certain jobs that they need to do. We can have as many tickets as we'd like underneath this criteria, right? You'll notice one of them is a phone request. They need to set up their phone system. Software setup, staying in IT, right? This may vary depending on department. So maybe they have to look at the new hire, where they were hired, their title, whatever it is, and install the software depending on that title. A training on the policies, right? So that way they know how to schedule time off or anything like that. And then manager's final approval. Notice these are my 5 different tickets. When I come in here to workflow, now is where the power comes in for this project. I'm sending out the phone and set up workstation tickets initially. Once those tickets are set to resolved, then I'm going to go to the software setup ticket. Once that's set to resolve, then my train on policies, you get the idea. The idea behind this is I want to make sure that their desk is there and their phone is set up before I go and set up the software. I want to make sure that the software is installed and they've had a chance to test their computer before I go and train them on their policies and before the manager approves them. All of these statuses are customizable. So if you want to have, let's say, an approved status or something in here, that way, if you have a new computer request, the manager has to approve it. But once the manager approves it, then we want to send out steps 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. If you don't want to have resolved, you can have closed, whatever it is. That's how ticket templates is used. And again, we're maximizing our time and performance, so that way we don't have a ticket sitting there that a technician can't be working on because of somebody else. We're going to maximize it so as soon as it's created, they can go work on it, resolve it, take care of their individual task. But now we've documented everything that's happening in this new hire process. So again, hopefully a quick overview for you of ticket templates and some of the other tools that have been included within the system. Again, we've shown you a very quick and easy overview of how this is. If you want to see more of the ins and outs or more of a detailed view or maybe a custom demo for you and your organization, by all means let us know. Amy, I think that's it for me. I'll go ahead and look and see if there's any questions on the chat and Q&A, but I'll turn the time over to you and kind of let you have the ball.
Okay, thank you, Shay. That was great information. And we did have a couple of questions come through. So, Shay, can you maybe touch on this one? We had someone ask, where is the database located, on the HelpDesk website or at our location on one of our servers?
For everything is installed on your end. So you would host the software, the database. I mean, we could help provide you with a MySQL or something like that. If you have a different DB, you know, Oracle or whatever it is, we can help apply it, you know, plug into one of those and pull that information, kind of like Donna was showing for your directory or whatever. But the database usually is a local database that's installed on your end.